Okay, we're going to do some scenario analysis here. First thing we're doing is calculate the expected return on the portfolio. Then we'll calculate the standard deviation or variance and standard deviation of the portfolio. Truthfully, you should be required to take statistics before you take this class. Somehow that prerequisite was removed at some point. Anyway, but I'll work with you to make sure that hopefully you get the statistics background that you need to understand what's going on here. First thing to do, we're going to calculate the expected return. Expected return on the portfolio is simply the probabilities of each outcome multiplied times the holding period return. So we've got four outcomes here. We've got severe recession, mild recession, normal growth, and boom. And those respectively have a probability of 5%, 25%, 40%, and 30%. Their respective returns are a loss of 37%, loss of 11%, and a loss of 14%, a loss of 30%. So simply all we have to do here is 0.05 times negative 37. That's our first, that's a severe, probability of the severe recession multiplied by that return, plus the probability of a mild recession, 0.25, multiplied by that return, plus 0.4, the probability of normal growth, multiplied by 14%, plus 0.3, the probability of a boom, multiplied by 30%. We multiply those out and add them up, and we get 10.00%. So, first thing we're going to do is calculate the variance. So, the variance is it's sigma squared. Okay, is the reference. So standard deviation is just the square root of variance, so we'll refer to it as sigma. So variance is 0.05, the probability of the outcome, plus the squared deviation. So this is 37 minus 10 squared. So this is the first. This covers the variance for this severe recession. Then mild recession, 0.25 times the 11% loss minus the 10% expected return squared, plus 0.4 times 14, the expected return, minus 10 squared. Then finally 0.30 times 30 minus 10 squared. Close that up. So that, you multiply that out, you should get 347.1. So that's your variance. So the standard deviation, or sigma, is the square root of that number, 7.10, and that is 18.63, and this is actually a percent. So the variance of this portfolio is 18.63%. Next page, we're going to calculate the Sharpe ratio for this this portfolio, assuming it's a we have a risk-free rate of 3%. So we got risk-free rate of 3%. Sharpe ratio is expected return on the portfolio minus risk-free rate divided by the portfolio standard deviation, which we have all of those. So we've got 10 minus our expected return minus the risk-free rate divided by the portfolio standard deviation, 18.63, and we get 0.38. So Sharpe ratio is also referred to as reward to volatility ratio. It gives us a way of comparing returns on securities with different levels of risk. We measure risk by the standard deviation. If a security had a higher Sharpe ratio, we would likely prefer that security to this one. If it had a lower security portfolio had a higher return, we would prefer, or higher Sharpe ratio, we would prefer that one. If it had a lower, we would prefer this one.